Hey everybody, okay, I am back home and all set up. And I just wanted to do an overview excuse me, and give you my take on the library board meeting. It was basically just another horrible Harvey meeting with no information or accountability about where the money's going. All right, so excuse me. Unfortunately, not a huge surprise, but oh well, it is what it is. So let's start off here. Hey Wyoming, you're back. You're so loyal the last few nights. Although I know the timing's probably good for you. Excuse me, since you're 2 hours behind. All right, let me share this here. So a fair number of you were able to join us. Wyoming says I missed the last part, but I'm interested in your take on it. Okay, yeah. It was more of the same, I would say, horrible dysfunction, but yeah, we'll definitely go over that. Okay. Oh, good. And StreamYard's faster tonight. It's not lagging like it often is. Okay. All right, everybody. I am here. I'm live. I did not know that they actually did have a hearing. You can't really hear me that well, but basically, I was telling you that when I showed up, they were having a public hearing. The meeting was supposed to start at 6:30. That was the one that I had seen advertised, but apparently they were having a public hearing on the budget at 6:15, which is not nearly enough time, and I don't believe it was posted legally or correctly either. Before. So they had finished that, and this was like a little interlude before the full board meeting was going to start at 6:30. So this was the hearing. This is the information for the hearing that was held before. I guess it was for the. So this was starting at 6:15. A public hearing, and you can see they had a section for public participation, which was interesting because when I walked in, there was a resident that was trying to speak, and President McCaskill said, "No, now is not the time to speak. That'll be during the next meeting or something." So again, that they didn't even follow their own agenda. So this is Tamika Price. This is she's a trustee. That's Keith Price's wife. So you may know Keith from if you follow the township stuff with Tiffany Hedger. This is Gillette Taylor. I forget. I think she's vice president. I don't remember. This is the lawyer Kevin Condon, who is with Montana and Welch, is the law firm. This is Felicia Powell Johnson. She, I believe, is the treasurer. And this is a friend of the McCaskills that was recently rehired after she had been let go prior, and I forget her name. Out of the meeting. I didn't even know there was a. Just don't nothing crazy. I didn't know about that's the library.
It's not. But here, take a look. So notice how here's some of the content, but notice how they did the 40. So they were trying to comply with the 48-hour rule, which we called them on.
Again, this.
Second. Oh, sorry. So the appointment
We're going to come back to that. I'll come back to that to show you guys. So they start the meeting. What does this remind you of? Like yesterday, right? The audio is horrible. They don't use their mics. They don't project. They talk too fast. So it's hard to follow what's even going on.
Yes. Trustee Brooks? Yes. Trustee Morgan? Here. Trustee Price?
Yes. Basically, they vote to go into executive session. This is President McCaskill. His wife is Keisha. She's running for county commissioner. This is their daughter, Amari McCaskill. She's the secretary. So yes, those are 3 McCaskills. So both of these McCaskills are on a board, and Keisha is a paid consultant for this same board. And the McCaskill family also is involved with the Harvey Park District, and Keisha McCaskill is the executive director of the Harvey Park District. So there's a lot of concerns about nepotism and, you know, keeping everything in the family, within their family and friends circle on these 2 boards. So they go into trustee signing contract without board. They go into closed session. Now, this is interesting because, look, it says they're talking about trustee involvement with some sort of staffing agency, signing contract without board approval, and sanctioning a trustee. So it seems like they're trying to go after, I'm guessing, either Chappelle and or Tamika Price, maybe Shawana Morgan. I don't know. But they wouldn't explain it, but that's what they were talking about. And then the rest of the agenda was, let's see, the treasurer's report, which we didn't see, the minutes, which they didn't show us, the bills they didn't show us. We saw nothing, and nothing's posted on their website. The HVAC proposal was not shown ahead of time, which it should be. This hiring Delgado to law group, it sounds like to go after a trustee. And then the most concerning thing was I have no idea what that approval means. Of the trustee budget. Sanction. They're going to reconvene. And again, they did that, and we didn't see anything. Thus, the treasurer's minutes, approval of bills, and public comment was at the end. So these are, see, McCaskill's the president, the secretary is the daughter, McCaskill. Angelette and Felicia are associates of the McCaskills, you know, and pretty reliably vote with the McCaskills. Shawana Morgan does speak up for transparency, but she was not present that night. Tamika Price had excellent, valid questions that were basically ignored. And then Chappelle Hooks also had questions that should have been answered and were basically ignored as well. So then I went there when you were outside. It wasn't good. So we went to take a look again, and I met with one of the reporters for the Harvey World Herald, and we saw how they had not posted the notice for the meetings correctly. I'll write it down for you. Okay, so you guys can see. So as you enter in, you know, these doors are locked and the library is closed. Okay, so as you in, so these are the 2. Well, this is okay. So this is what I did not know about. This is the agenda for the public hearing that they had. So when I arrived, they were just having it, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" I did receive this. Okay, so supposedly these were posted, but as you can see, they're covered up. So they're covering up the budget. So even though technically the budget, I guess, is here, you can't really see it. The other issue is that even though it's there, when you are outside, I'll show you guys again. When the doors close, you can't see. Okay, so if you're outside and the doors are locked, you're not able to see. You can't see in there. See the problem? So to me, that does seem like an issue with improper posting. The all meeting notices, public meeting notices in Illinois are supposed to be posted 48 hours in advance. Now, they do have this posted so you can see it from the exterior, but this is just for the regular board meeting. Okay. So not only did they have the hearing for the budget, but and they're supposed to vote on it tonight, if you know, right here. So how can they have a hearing on it and vote on it the same night, and we haven't even seen it? So this is a problem. What did you say? What else did you say? French? A gang of friends? Yeah. Clear to heart. You know what? Copy posted. And then the reporter pointed out, not actually the budget that was posted, that was hidden, was the budget for the prior year. So not the current budget that they were voting on. So they hadn't shared any copies of the budget. It was just horrible. So then we headed back in the room and we were just hanging out for a while. Keith Price showed up, and some other people that some I knew, some I didn't. This was the gentleman right here, Sam, who was let go in a really brutal, horrible way. And one of the meetings that I covered. These are two security guys. It's the same company that you'll notice if you watched my coverage of the Harvey Park District meeting, because remember the McCaskills were on both boards. That's the same security company that they use. And the gentleman who seated the bigger guy, he was the one that was hassling the Park District commissioners that were trying to get in and figure out what was going on. Here's Keith Price. This is the gentleman, Sam, who was laid off. They were very, very rude to him. So we were just hanging out for a while. It's like he's keeping his eye on things. We had I was like, wait, do I look good? Oh, I need to work out some more, huh? I don't have a butt. He's fired, and that was so a sanction? An office. So we went over. I just talked about that a little bit again. Words for your school. So they took their sweet time, and I did hear some yelling at the end in closed session before they came back for the tax behavior on that particular. 7:23. Make a motion to reconvene open session. Second. All right, so they came back. Now, unfortunately, still we're not able to hear much. So I do apologize. And, if you speak up, which I will, again, if I cover a library board meeting again, but, the president gets very snippy with you and was just extremely unprofessional and rude with the public and with the trustees, which you'll see.
President Castle, Vice President Taylor?
Yes.
Secretary Castle, yes. Treasurer Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Hooks?
Yep.
Trustee Morgan?
Can you guys see okay? Is it not blurred?
Moving on to number 5, treasury report as of July 2025.
And account number 1331, we have $498,836.
So this is Felicia Powell Johnson. She's the treasurer, giving the treasurer's report, I guess. Again, no packet given to the public in advance, as it should be. We weren't really told anything in advance. And yes, the treasurer proceeds to read off numbers with no paper packets available for the public to see. Nothing was posted online ahead of time. And what I guess we're just supposed to write those down or somehow know what those numbers mean or take their word for it, that those numbers actually are valid and, talk about where the money is. I mean, crazy, inappropriate, and unprofessional. And just not right.
In our account 1359, we have $674,762.22 in our other region account. In our account 5775, we have $1,622,158.35 in our first motion. In account number ending in 0863, we have $914.70 in our first registered account. In our account ended in 3106, we have $6,740.37 in our Illinois fund. And account number ending in 0011, we have $23.95 in our Illinois. 155 cents.
Extremely inappropriate number.
As a follow-up from last month's meeting, you said you would let us know when you start doing deposits. You haven't made a deposit yet? Have you ever on bank accounts yet?
No.
So what are you reading from it? Is that something that was made and given to you, or is it an actual bank statement?
Not basically the check. And I'm making that right up.
You may not be able to hear, but basically, hey friend, you found us again. You're still up. The sound is what? Probably horrible, right? I'm telling you, they don't do stuff right. Oh, like you can't even for those of us, like not just in the video, but when we're there, they were speaking too fast and they weren't projecting enough. They weren't using their mics. It's not right. But basically, Trustee Price was asking the treasurer and saying, like, okay, so what are you reading those numbers off of? Like, is that a bank statement? Is that, and she didn't really, the treasurer didn't really have a clear answer. She said something just like, well, these are the numbers. So that was very weird. But Miss Price, I have to hand it to her. She asked a lot of really good and very valid questions tonight. And she kept asking, even though the president and the other board members, besides Chappelle Hooks, were just giving her a really hard time and being very rude to her.
Because I know the president did it last time.
We're not, but this is not a discussion.
No, I'm just making a note, and I was also following up because you said you didn't. That's fine. On another, in regards to the payment of 180.
And here it starts. So this is this way for the whole freaking meeting. The president is over talking a trustee who's trying to ask questions about the money. So unprofessional and improper.
$1,000 for the bond payment of interest. Can you? Okay, I apologize. Can you answer my question? Is this not the time to discuss finance? When should I discuss finance? When should I discuss finance?
Number 7, approval of the bills.
Wow. So she was saying, okay, so if you don't want me to ask questions about the money, like what? Well, what am I supposed to ask questions? Who does this remind you of? Mayor Clark, by chance? It's called rush the meeting on and silence anyone who has questions about how you're spending public money.
All right, so we have the bills list.
So then he rushes onto the bills list.
Oh, I'm sorry. Number 6, approval of July 2010 minutes. Make a motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Question, sorry. We're still missing the minutes from June for the special board meeting that we said last month.
Or I'm sorry, no, I think they were voting on approving some minutes. And so then Trustee Price asks another question.
In the packet this month. And it wasn't. You got those? Did you send them, Tom? Like, who dropped them off? Was it you or those minutes that we didn't approve last month? They were sent to who? Who did send them to? The minutes that we did not approve last month, for the special meeting, we said we would do it this month. Correct? You sent them? You sent them? So I'm just trying to determine, because maybe it got lost in spam. I'm just making sure that we could have the minutes so we can review it.
Got a motion in a second. Roll call.
So she's trying to be very polite but persistent and asking, so was I sent, were we sent the minutes? where we sent copies of it? Did it get lost in spam? And as you can see, the president is very anxious. President McCaskill is shuffling papers and just wants to push everything through, which drives me freaking crazy for this whole meeting. It's like, slow down and answer questions before you just vote on spending the public's money. It's not your money, it's our money.
Yes.
Secretary McCaskill, yes. Treasurer Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Hooks. Trustee Morgan, I hear Trustee Price.
Yes.
107, approval of the bills.
And that's one of several times during this meeting where, again, I know it's a little hard to hear, but Chappelle stopped and she said, wait, what are we voting on again? Because they're so freaking, they talk quiet and they talk so fast. They're trying to push things through, again, because they want to obviously approve everything with little to no scrutiny. And I'm sorry, but if you're on a public board, if you can't handle scrutiny, then you need to resign. You know, they need to resign. It's sad, but I mean, there's no accountability on this board.
Second.
Question.
So then he goes and wants to do a roll call immediately to vote on approving the bills. And thank God Ms. Price is quick, because she wants to ask a question, as she should. Because remember, we've never seen anything. They haven't released the information to the public, so we don't even know what they're voting on.
For the $66,000 bill, I believe the threshold for approval is $30,000. The board did not vote on whoever Jade and Smith pulling and Aaron is. We have a $66,000 police contract for us.
These are probably original contractors who,
From when? What year?
So good job, Trustee Price. So she's asking, he watches his watch 4 times a minute. Right. Did you see? It's like he's so, I'm like, if you want to look, President McCaskill and his associates, if you want to look like you're trying to steal public money, this is a great way to do it. Talk down to people on the board, talk down to residents, and try to rush through every possible freaking piece of this agenda. That's a great way to try to tell us as the public, to try to make us feel that you're stealing from us. That's a great way to do it. Just try to rush through everything and really shame every person that tries to ask even just the most basic of questions. I mean, that's a great way to get the public to not trust you, you know? So, I mean, if that's what their goal is, I think the board did a great job tonight. If that wasn't their goal, then they failed. So,
he was one of the original contractors from when they took the bids way back.
and her comment, if you couldn't hear it, she said, so wait, on this bills list, it's I think she said $66,000 is going to go to this particular HVAC company, and we didn't vote on that. And then the president is just argumentative and doesn't want to answer questions about it, but wants to rush to spend our money.
When Kim was here, and by far he's the lowest bidder, and the complaints of the employees and patrons of the library about the heat in the air. You can either vote yes or you can vote no.
Attorney, can you explain is there an expiration in terms of RFP and bid proposals? Like, is there, can we just...
So the President McCaskill says they were the lowest bidder, and people really want the HVAC fixed, but he didn't answer her question. Okay, but have they seen it before? Has the public seen it? Have we seen the other bids? How do we know they're the lowest bidder? We're just supposed to take your word for it? No, that's not good enough.
Get back from 1900s for a proposal that was submitted and say, hey, this is what we want now?
The RFP would determine, I haven't seen the RFP.
No, I'm just asking, like, in general, concept.
In general, the bidding process, you determine how long a bid will become open. Typically, contractors can do what you say that your bid, like when you do an RFP, you put it out and say your bid has to be good for your date certain. required to do the lowest responsible bidder. You have to publicly bid it, but as it relates to how long the price needs to remain open, it's determined based upon when it was bid. So if you look at an RFP, it'll say, most people, it needs to be open for 60 days, it needs to be price fixed for 90 days.
Right.
So obviously, in terms of most places, wouldn't want a bid that was 2 years old, obviously the cost of labor, most people want their bids to be for the shortest period. And usually it's the contractor that won't honor the price. And they won't honor the price because if, let's say they bid $10,000 2 years ago, well, since then, the cost of everything has gone up.
I'm going to try to put my earbuds on because it is so hard. It's hard for me to hear too.
And then how-
Harder
Second,
time,
guys.
but for example, like in the state of Illinois, they might bid for the joint program, they can bid and then you can jump onto it. But period, you know, this, for example, the state might say the price has to be good for 2 years.
But even if the boards, we voted upon to be the board.
So basically, the attorney was saying, I don't think he really answered the question about the bid, but said something like, "Oh well, you know, if it's an older bid, the prices might have gone up because of inflation or something." That's kind of what it sounded like he was saying to me. So yeah, hold on one second. Let me connect here. I want to connect to my Bluetooth. Come on, Bluetooth. Oh my goodness. Come on. It's taking forever to connect. Okay. I'm going to keep playing it while it's connecting here.
I don't know what you're.
Oh, so we're gonna vote for them after the fact?
And that's where all the BS just is, you know, barely starts there, right? So basically, Miss Price, Trustee Price, is saying like, so wait, we're voting on this stuff. We haven't seen it ahead of time. We're voting on this you know, decent size HVAC fee or contract after the fact, and the attorney doesn't have an answer. The President McCaskill, doesn't really have an answer, and gets increasingly irritated. You know, and doesn't want to answer any questions. It's just crazy. This is, sorry, hold on one second. I'll catch up with you guys' comments. For a board member, if you pay $1,000 per meeting, if the meeting takes 1 hour, you make $1,000. If it takes 3 hours, you'll only do $333 an hour. Oh, I don't know. The board members are not supposed to be paid. That's the thing. So that's why I always want to know, like, why are these people such in a rush to hide where the money's going if they're not paid? Makes me very suspicious. Tell in her head. No, I don't think. No, Chappelle just has some sort of rap. I don't know. I don't know exactly, you know, where she gets the raps, but yeah, it's just a head wrap. This is the library board. Why are these people so? Thank you, Wyoming. Exactly, like anybody, whether it's residents or the trustees asking questions. It's like, dude, like, this is literally your job, is to spend our money the way we want you to spend it. Like, that's literally why we do democracy, right? Because these people are supposed to, not because they're supposed to just do whatever they want with no accountability, but because most people, like in our representative democracy, we don't want to have to take the time to have to do every freaking thing ourselves, right? As far as it relates to running our public institutions. So these people, that's why they call them trustees. We have our trust in them. They're trusted with our money and the responsibility for our public organizations, which means they're also accountable to us, which means they shouldn't be arguing when people are asking questions. They should be answering the questions, and they should be showing us where the money's going. And darn it, why is my Bluetooth headset not connecting? That's annoying.
I mean, because I know you just don't want to be wrapped up in this. What I'm saying is that this is, we never voted on it. So I'm just asking.
At the end of the day, you can either say yes.
So wait.
I ain't gonna say either say yes or no if we never bid, if it never came before the board to even vote on it.
At the end of the day,
Right.
you can say yes.
Oops. Sorry, I was muted. But yeah, they were, because they have friends on the budget. Right. Like maybe the board is not supposed to get paid, but is someone getting paid? Why else would they be rushing through things and not wanting to answer questions? Yep. So then Ms. Price asked, like, okay, but again, why are we voting on this if we haven't seen this? Chappelle basically asked the same thing.
First of all, the work is already done.
At this point, the work is not already done.
So wait.
That's what.
Also, is this a new bid? This is a new quote? Because we have prices on it from June 27th, 2025.
That's the updated price list. And actually, it went down when we first originally put it in a year and a half ago. And by far the cheapest. And because there's an emergency situation, right? There's an emergency situation. Here we go. I mean,
As the emergency.
it doesn't.
So have they done the work?
Quite a lot. You will be removed. You will be removed.
Oh, okay. And so then, as the President Price keeps, President McCaskill keeps badgering Tamika Price, who's trying to ask questions that are very valid questions about contracts and money. The president keeps badgering her, and spoke up, said something, but it wasn't anything crazy or truly disruptive or anything. But then the president threatens to have him removed. Stupid.
Have they done the work or no?
They came and they checked the filters.
And notice Ms. McCaskill here, the daughter of Keisha and Anthony, she doesn't have any questions about how money's being spent. Neither does the treasurer, who's over here off camera, Felicia Powell Johnson. And the attorney, he shuffles papers, but he has nothing good to add to anything. Like, he's useless. He's just a total waste of our tax money. Of course, he doesn't care though, right? Because he's there, he looks good in his suit, and he's getting paid. So he doesn't care.
Mr. Pitts, he's the one who brought these people in, first and foremost. So they changed the filters and things like that. So then they came back and they changed the It's not fair. At the end of the day.
Because why even that Mr. Hitz had to come up? What all that?
Because he did the service work last year. He did service work last year. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I mean, okay, was they supposed to make somebody vote because you said Mr. Hitz?
I got a first and second roll call.
I apologize. I'm
Pal, he's over talking Trustee Price. He is, and Anthony McCaskill is just being extremely unprofessional and rude and inappropriate with the trustees. That, like I said, they're doing their job and asking about how our money's being spent. So I mean, I was irate. I still can't stand to watch that.
So is this the actual contract where this says, oh, so this is the deposit of 66,000, so the total is 132, and they want half, that's what you're saying? I mean, I need to be clear, and I'm hoping.
So she asked another great question. She said, okay, wait. So the 66,000 is just a deposit for the HVAC repairs. The total's 132,000. So they want half up front. And you hear President McCaskill like, you know, and oh, wait, hold on. What did you say, French? It's only a library board meeting. Faut que tu imagines que tu es à leur place, ils savent comment la réunion va se dérouler juste en regardant qui est dans l'ensemble. Oh, like they know ahead of time what's going to happen. Like, yeah. A lot of times they plan, they have a meeting before the meeting, like we say, you know, and that's why they're trying to rush things along so much, right? Yeah. So she's asking about, again, like, oh, so what's going on about the again, okay, so we're paying half, but this is the total price, and he won't answer the question. He just gets angry.
You want to be clear on what we're paying for and what we're voting on.
You got the board back, right? You went to add it. So.
I had it.
The board pack was upside down.
It was.
Turn the right side up. Money doesn't matter.
That's neither here nor there, but.
Okay, so we got it first.
No, can you answer the question, so it's all.
Wow. And then Chappelle says, like, you know, even when you guys sent us all the documentation, it was upside down. And then the president says, well, turn it. Well, then you just turn it up right side up anyway. And he wants to push to vote again. And then Ms. Price is saying, wait, could you wait? You haven't answered my question. It's so rude.
This is to replace all units with 132,000. And then we're required to pay 50%.
So all she asked was, she said it's 132,000, and so we're required to pay 50%. Why can't you answer the damn question, McCaskill? Like, what's the issue? She's not being rude. Why are you being so rude to her? She's asking a really valid, important question.
Are we on first? We got a second, President Castro? Vice President Taylor?
Yes.
And I mean, unless I missed something, I don't think anything was. They still didn't really clarify it. And then the daughter, Amari McCaskill, wants to rush the vote again.
Chairman Castro, yes. Treasurer Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Hooks?
No.
Trustee Morgan? Not here. Trustee Price?
No.
So Price and Hooks, they vote no. But of course, since the McCaskills have more votes, they don't care. And you know, it still passes.
I have a question for this morning. So I had a question because we had a patron that voiced the concern about the new library cards that the incorrect website hours on it. I'm curious, you know, when did we pay for those? Did we order new library cards?
Yes, we did.
No, I don't know. How did we pay for them? For who?
There's invoice for Lucas cars.
Lucas cards. So we don't use Gemco?
So now she's asking, how do we pay for the library cards? Oops, where did I put my sheet? How do we pay for the library cards? And then the staff person is saying, oh, no, we don't use Lucas, I guess was another, or no, that's the company they are using or something. But anyway, there was just not clarity about that.
I
Okay. So again, that was rushed, and I don't think that was really answered clearly, but it's like moving on.
It's already should have been, I sent it today with the attachments. Emergency introductions, community driven, digital equity events. And then we had Jay Lewis, Jayla Lewis, this is a proposal to host a the community financial literacy program. We also had 2 incident reports that are attached to the sheet. That is.
Do we have any resumes come in for the director?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen any resumes for the director position or something.
New business. Couldn't no action from executive session, so we can make a motion to table that. Second, roll call.
President Castro.
Yes.
So they asked about, is anyone, if you have any resumes for the director position? We still don't have a library director, but we're paying big bucks to Keisha McCaskill as a consultant, and there may even be other consultants. I don't know.
Vice President Taylor.
Yes.
Secretary Castro, yes. Treasurer Johnson.
Yes.
Trustee Lutz. The action.
I'm happy. Okay.
Wait, so we're trying on new business or?
No, we taking.
Okay.
There's no actions from executive session. We kind of just-
So Trustee Lutz.
Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute, I'm confused.
I'm confused too. What are you doing? Yeah, so again, too quiet. They're talking too fast. Very difficult to understand what's really going on. You need a whole new board or a new election. Right, exactly. I know these people are the same scammers that have been scamming in Harvey for too many years, unfortunately. We have 4,500 or 4,500 people sitting here, and I watched council board meeting. The sound worked. They speak one after another. People are listening to, right? That's how it should work. I agree. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. It seems like she used to use PIMCO for library, but then they went with Lucas. Yeah, I was trying to figure out like the it's like, were they using Lucas before or PIMCO for whatever? But yeah, do you notice it's, I feel like they wanted to rush everything. They talked way too quietly, and no one really knew what was going on. Like, that just drives me nuts. Like, we know you know what's going on. You're just trying to hide stuff. It froze up on me. Mandy, are you the Mandy we saw speaking? And then, of course, you're going to say, yes, that was me. I spoke at the meeting. P. Pablo says the library cards are over the amount that should be approvable for the consultant. She shouldn't have been able to just buy them without board approval. Thank you, P. Pablo. See, that's more than I knew, because they haven't made all this. That's why I asked him in my public comment, where are the receipts, McCaskill? Where are the receipts, Mr. President? Because if you're not doing anything wrong, then show us where all the money's being spent. See, I didn't even know that. She really didn't have any announcements, which I thought was weird. Right. Wouldn't you think that someone who's supposed to be over a library for a town of almost 20,000 people would have more to say? The information on the The information on the cards are also wrong, which doesn't make sense. If you work those hours, how do you mess it up? Oh, yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that as well. Yes. Yeah. Library cards in that quantity usually go over 3,000. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that information. That really helps to clarify that. Yeah.
Oh, 10A, oh, okay, yeah.
Trustee Morgan, not here, trustee Price.
Number B, approval for HVAC proposal. Second, I need a second.
Second.
Where is the proposal? No, I see, like, I don't know, cash app receipts, I don't know what this is.
It's a proposal. You saw, like you said, it's $132,000.
That's all I see, it says units will be serviced bi-monthly, which entails 6 visits and
But it's all,
includes stuff.
it should be a package in there as well.
Yeah, but it does not, it's not a, what are we voting on? What did you just say you're voting for, a?
So there's some confusion again here, and I'm not quite sure what was going on. Trustee Price is saying something about $32,000, and what are they voting for? And I'm, like I said, I'm confused. This is why I said something. I know Amanda said something. Like, it was just, the communication was just horrible for the whole meeting. The whole thing was like this.
On the proposal, I don't see a proposal. Am I being unreasonable? I don't,
No.
Vice President, do you see a proposal?
Oh, okay. This is about the HVAC. Okay. Now notice McCaskill is he's nervously shuffling his papers. So is his daughter, Mari McCaskill. Like, what? So Trustee Price is saying, is this just me, or does this HVAC document not look like a proposal? How can we vote on something that's supposed to be a proposal for, repairs if it's not a proposal? Like, how is that not a reasonable question? I don't know. I really don't know. Wait, hold on one second.
Does anybody see the proposal?
I don't see them. But I don't have. The price is on there in the deposit.
I see an invoice for one.
And notice nobody has answers. And she's saying, has anybody seen, like, am I missing something here? Where's the proposal? Again, how can you vote on a proposal if it's not, if you don't have a proposal? Like, how hard is this to understand? And Felicia Johnson is she looks frustrated, but I mean, again, these questions should be able to be answered. They're very easy questions, very straightforward questions.
Vice President said she don't got it either.
Ms. Dorsey, you do me a favor. You go ahead and- So let's table, let it be to, it's more compact. Second. Second.
President Johnson.
Yes.
Vice President Taylor.
Okay, so now they decided to vote to table the vote on whether they're going to approve the HVAC proposal. Okay. Until I guess the staff member gets back in the room with something, maybe a photocopy or something or other.
Treasurer Johnson, trustee Hoods.
But again, they didn't know, even Trustee Price had asked, because they're so rushing everything, and everything is really unclear. All right, so they tabled that. Let me catch up with comments. So who's winning? Oh, well, the McCaskills so far, because they're pushing everything through. Is that for the HVAC? Correct. Yes. So according to Ms. Price, because again, all this should be released publicly before they vote. Okay, but she said that the total bill is $132,000 to repair the HVAC, and it looks like they're asking for $66,000 up front. That's what I was able to piece together from her questions, because they numbered the agenda very wrong. Right. The agenda was also numbered wrong. Right. There are 2 10s. So how are we supposed to know which 10 you're talking about? The proposal that was put forth was way more than the other estimates reported last year. Okay, I see. Thank you, P. Pablo. Okay, good to know. Good to know. But again, nothing is shared with the public, which is wrong. Like P. Pablo mentioned earlier, if you buy cards that are more expensive, your budget goes straight to the garbage, right? Someone's getting a kickback, most likely, right? If the board if the McCaskills want us and the board, they want us to think that they're getting kickbacks or that they're doing something dishonest, they're doing a great job, right? Like I said, ridicule everyone who has valid questions and rush everything through. That's what you would do. And that's what they're doing. So if they don't want people to get upset, then just release all the financial information and then we'll see where the money's going. More than likely, they just made that up with one of their friends, right? And that is what happens on a lot of public boards. Exactly. They'll get a buddy who may or may not have a legit HVAC business or whatever it is and say, okay, here, well, we'll charge $200,000 and it really only costs us maybe $10,000 to fix it. But, we can split the difference, right? And that's the kind of stuff that we need to make sure is not happening. French says the board is split in two. Right. Yep. And right now the McCaskills have a majority. $132,000 for library HVAC. Right. So, and I don't even know what that, like, does that mean that they're replacing all the units? Does that mean it's just partial replacements? Is it repairs? None of that was made clear. And that should all be made crystal clear, not only to the trustees, but to the public before they vote on it and giving us a chance to give feedback. Didn't they want to relocate $180,000 to the tax lien? How are they spending close to that amount on a random HVAC company? That is a very good question. Again, I don't know. And how big is the library? I think for a town of 20,000 people, it's not that big. I don't know the square footage offhand. How much do they have total to budget? I would sure love to know that. Yep. That also isn't the same HVAC company that was reported to have done the repairs last time. Interesting, P. Pablo. Okay, thank you for that insight. I appreciate that.
I'd like to ask the attorney, is having Delgado Law Group as counsel, and it's also the counsel for the Park District, and we have a Park District employee and also a Park District trustee, is that a conflict of any sort that you can imagine in any scenario at all? Or because it was brought to us by the president proposing this company and there's a prior relationship, do you see this being an issue?
You like to ask.
Exactly like that, because it's a prior relationship.
I guarantee you won't pay them $250,000. This is for a 60-day investigation.
Okay, so the question is by Trustee Price. Very important question. So it appears that the majority on the board is trying to hire Delgado Law Firm. Remember Delgado Law Firm from Dalton? So they're one of these few like law firms that like Odelson, Delgado, and they will tend to do all the municipal law for these various boards. So they want to bring them in to apparently investigate. I don't know if they're trying to create some sort of scandal or shame some of the trustees or one of the trustees. Again, nothing was made clear to the public, so I don't really know what it's about exactly. But they want to hire Delgado. And then Trustee Price says, well, isn't there some sort of conflict of interest because that same law firm is used by the Park District, and we have the president, the president's wife is the executive director of the Park District, and the president's daughter, Amari, is on the board for the Park District. The president's son, Aaron, is also on the board for the Park District. So she's calling out a legitimate question, like, don't we have some conflicts of interest here, right? And she asked the lawyer, but the President McCaskill didn't really let the lawyer answer it.
Well, lay it out.
He absolutely can.
So
I'm not a lawyer, nor do I have to
day,
figure out.
there's the first. Mr. Price,
No.
Mr. Price, please.
I know you let out, but,
There's the
I'm
first,
gonna give it to him.
there's
So,
the second.
no, I had a question for the attorney. You said he works for the entire board. So can you?
He already said it's not.
So he wants to force the vote through again. And that is a very legitimate question. I want to know that because at this family and friends group, the McCaskill, greater group. Okay, if they're already using the Delgado law firm and they want to bring them in, you know, at the Park District, and now they want to bring them in to investigate another trustee that they are opposed to on this board, that's a legit question. All that should be disclosed, right? So I totally agree. The HVAC units need to be replaced. All the units except the new expansion building are older than my high school diploma. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Recall. Yes. I'm all for universal recall. We need that. He's trying to frame her for doing something illegal, like misappropriation of funds. If they can do that, they can hide their own misdeeds, which is why they are choosing their own people. Thank you, P. Pablo. To me, I don't have access to all the information, but that's surely what it looks like, right? It looks like they're trying to set up a trustee or trustees that they don't like maybe Price or Hooks, that are asking questions and trying to distract people and saying, oh, look, they're doing the things that are wrong, instead of just showing the receipts. Family and friend at Clark Barbecue. Well, supposedly, I mean, McCaskill ran against Clark for mayor. This McCaskill, not Keisha, but the guy who's president here, he ran twice and he lost. I don't know if he's going to run again in 2027, but you know, so you would think at least publicly that they're not buddy, but you know, you never know. Sometimes people pretend to be enemies in public, and then in private they're actually working together. So who knows?
So what are we going to do here? Is there
Oh, okay, never mind. The president said it was a conflict. So with that being said, let's do the. You got a second? Let's call the roll. That's what you said.
I said it's not a conflict. But that's fine. It's a joke. It won't be funny when the findings come out. No, it won't be. But if you say something else, you can get removed.
So Trustee Price just wanted to clarify. Okay, so you admitted there's a conflict of interest, right? We just wanted to get that on record. So then President McCaskill gets really irritated again, and I guess Keith Price said something, but the camera didn't even pick it up. So he wasn't being that just loud or disruptive, obviously, right? And then he threatens him. McCaskill threatens again to throw him out. Like, no. In this case, whatever we think of Keith Price, he didn't do anything wrong. So, you know, I'm not saying that. I know a lot of people are like, we hate him because of what he did with Tiffany. But again, just for what he's doing at this point in time, he didn't do anything wrong at all. You can't just kick a guy out.
Seriously. I don't be disrespectful, you don't disrespect me. Okay. Got a first and second. Roll call.
President McCaskill,
Yes.
Vice President Taylor,
Yes.
Secretary McCaskill, yes, Treasurer Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Hooks,
No.
Trustee Morgan, not here, Trustee Price.
No.
Motion carried.
So they passed it with the two votes being Price and Hooks. That was for the law to hire Delgado.
This is in PDF. But I'll send it out again, like we talked about in the public. Number 7, which is special reserve fund for municipal fund. So that turns from 170 to 171, $171,000. That's the only thing it was I did to the.
And again, McCaskill's talking way too fast under old business, something about changing a particular number to something else. And we can't hear him. We don't have no idea what he's talking about. And he doesn't want to answer questions about it. Horrible behavior. That's what they did to the old manager. Carol Morris refused to give trustees information. Refused to give trustees information which hid their misdeeds. She did this publicly at the front desk while I was there. Wait, say that again, P. Pablo? I don't understand. Say that again, but thank you for that. I appreciate the comment, but yeah, just rephrase it. I don't understand exactly what you're saying.
PDF file.
We have copies of the.
I just want to say it. Word version. See, here we go. When we had the last meeting, we talked about this whole scenario. I said, okay, there was an error of $1,000. We all discussed that we were going to move it from one place to another. Right. And we did that. Right. So what I'm saying to you is, so what's the problem?
So again, instead of answering the question, it's like he's shaming Trustee Hooks as well, who's saying, well, what is this? What sort of change in money or reserve fund? It's like we don't even know what's going on.
Now, it's on the agenda. We're gonna vote on it now? Yes. Without which we have to
Ms. Hooks, you made the change on your copy, right? Last morning. Yeah. Okay. What I'm saying to you, I don't have the Word version to update it, but before we send it to the county, it will be updated. And prior to sending it to the county, a signed copy will go to the trustee.
So again, he's just talking. He's talking down. He's talking fast. Just very disrespectful. And trying to get them to vote on another financial matter, and we don't understand what's going on. Delgado gets around. Right, exactly. You see, that's the problem. You can't even trust these attorneys because they all work for these boards. She restricted info to only the McCaskills. They were not able to get things like invoices and monetary information. Trustee Morgan came to get invoices but was refused. Oh, okay. I see. I understand. Okay, Carol Morris, the old manager. What? Okay, that's what you meant. Yes. Mm-hmm. So she's only giving certain information to certain trustees, like the McCaskills or those who are allied with them. That makes sense. Thank you. That's the kind of stuff we need to know. Like, it's just, okay. So you're scamming the people. Well, just tell us the truth, We're going to find out anyway, eventually, right?
But and it's right here in the last meeting. It's in the minutes. So I make a motion to approve the FY25, FY26 appropriation budget for $1,649,129,129 and 0 cents. Second. Sorry.
So then he reads off in a quiet voice, talking, mumbling, talking way too fast about like, here's the budget. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we have a second and roll call. What the F? Okay, no, that's not how you do things. Not public a budget. You want to go pay your house bills that way, or your company, that has a private board that runs it that way. That's fine, but this is a public board. $1,650,000 something. It sounds like that's what it sounds like he was saying.
100 what?
129. So it's 1.649129. That's also it's also in the minutes last.
I know that's what I'm looking at.
That's what I said. 165. I mean, I'm sorry. 1650 129.0.
So again, so rude, so unprofessional, and just so anti-transparent, like, I said that. That's what I said. That's what I said. Ugh. This is why we can't get nice stuff for ourselves from these public bodies. And Harvey, don't treat people that way. She's asking questions about how public money is being spent. Answer the questions and take your time. And actually, you shouldn't have voted at all because none of this was released to the public ahead of time. We want to see it ahead of time, and we want time to give feedback.
President McCaskey?
Yes.
Vice President Taylor?
Yes.
Secretary McCaskey, yes. Treasurer Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Hooks? Morgan, not here. Trustee Burrows. Motion carried.
So on the budget, which they should not have voted on, I think everybody voted yes except for wait, did Chappelle say abstain? It was hard to hear. I think she may have said abstain, but Trustee Price voted no, which I agree. They shouldn't have even voted on it because remember, they violated OMA. They didn't properly announce the budget hearing.
Participation. We have need audience participation. You want to go first?
Okay, now we go to audience participation.
Eric Jeffers, CPR instructor. I passed out information way earlier this year about trying to start a CPR class here in the library. And I was, I'm here to see where we stand with that decision on putting a CPR class together.
So I got a question for this, one simple question. Are you receiving any grants or funding for this?
No, I'm not, the funding will be coming out of the participants of the class, $65 per person.
And what will be the cut from what will be our percentage of the library?
So basically, this gentleman's saying, I want to be able to teach CPR classes at the library. I think he said it would be like 65 or per class or something like that. And then the crazy thing is that McCaskill says, so what's our cut of that? And let me see if I can, I think he already said it. But let me play it. Hold on. Oh, okay, yeah. He said, like, what would be our percentage of that? Now, remember, you're a public library board. A public library board. Your first question when someone wants to teach a CPR class should not be, what do we get out of it? How much are you going to give us? That just shows you the intent of this board. It's F, failure. F on everything.
Negotiate, you know. I gave him the big work to sit down there.
And this man's being very nice and everything, and he's having to like plead so that he can teach a CPR class in a library. Like, what the hell?
According to 820 ILCS 115.
And then Cheryl's the second commenter, and basically she mentions there that some impropriety. The complaint is regarding impropriety of paying employees that were laid off, I believe. So I don't know if that's covering Sam, the young man that was there, you know, who was very, very inappropriately laid off. I'm guessing that's probably what that was regarding. Let me see. Ooh, what other juicy things did you tell us, P. Pablo? So many of the leaders refused to scare financials or share, you mean, right? Yes, exactly. Budget was posted by the managers before. I believe Melanie is responsible last year. It's probably why they got rid of both the other managers to keep that info under wraps. Yes, so what we discovered tonight is when you first enter the library, the information case on the left has the budget, the proposed budget for last year. So they probably just left it up there. And I also didn't understand why he needed to know what this man got grants for his organization. It's none of your business. Right. Like, in other words, he's like, it's almost like the President McCaskill's like trying to suss out where his funding was from to see how much he could get. Like, again, that was his first question, as you pointed out so well, Amanda. Like, that's so inappropriate. Why are you first and foremost worried about what the library board's going to get? Like, you're supposed to provide public services like that. The old admin, Leroy says, the old administration used to pay for that out of the library funds. Oh, they used to pay for the CPR classes, you mean, so the residents wouldn't have to pay? I don't know if you can clarify that. But so anyway, Cheryl makes her comment about the payments, the improper payments. Then we get to Amanda's comments.
Hello,
My name is Amanda Askew. Treasurer's report about a First Merchants account. I just wanted to point out, and I'm assuming that you are speaking of First Merchants Bank. They actually closed the Harvey branch, and they're actually no longer in the Illinois market because First Merchants Depository branches were actually bought out by so this much is done again. I got presentation that the financial accounts for the Harvey Library be at Fifth Third Bank, since that's the only financial institution in this town as of late. That would just be my suggestion. And then number two, I guess I was a little off-putting by the.
So I don't know if you understood, but Amanda's point was saying, why are we banking with a bank that is no longer in the area at all? Why don't we use Fifth Third Bank? It's the only bank left in Harvey.
First person's comment about the CPR classes and Mr. McCaskill, your response was, what's our cut? It just gave very backdoor dealish instead of maybe having an official a conversation being had of if there is a price, is there a discount for residents, or is there some type of incentive? I do believe CPR classes are super important, but I do believe maybe there needs to be some type of organization or structure on how people like him and other resources provided by the library, if there's a proper submission process and not kind of like this Q&A here, like what's my cut? It's just kind of off-putting a little bit, seeing it has, this is the people's house, this is the people's library.
Good job, Amanda. And she even looked at the camera too. She's like, you know, and this was off-putting, okay? So you guys did not do this right. Like, why are you trying to ask for money? So anyway, all right. Oops. Hold on one second. We'll go on to the next commenter. Let me answer this call.
Make money off of taxpayers' bills and don't get anything back.
Number one, never said it was wrong. However, I do believe that there's a proper way to go about that, and that what was done here was not proper. And I do understand the concern, but I do think it could have been addressed a little bit better. I do believe that there is some type of synergy here because CPR classes are very much needed. Heart disease is rampant in the African American community. I just don't believe how it was handled at this point was appropriate. And I don't believe it was appropriate for the public. That's what I'm saying. I do understand that we have purposes as a board and people, businesses, and resources that want to do business or want to partner with the library. I totally understand processes and concerns. I just think what happened here, this exchange was inappropriate.
That's your opinion. But the Harvey Fire Department does CPR first aid.
No, it's not actually for free. According to the Harvey newsletter that I printed out, it's $80 for non-residents and $70 for residents.
Yeah, that's not what they told us.
Well, it's printed on the monthly newsletter that is actually for public consumption at City Hall, and it's actually printed on the digital copy of the library as well.
Are you Harvey?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Go ahead, and I'll go after you.
Good evening. Did not expect to speak at all tonight, and now I'm beginning speaking twice. So thank you for the honesty on why, when I asked for a copy of the budget and appropriations for 25-26, why I wasn't given one. Apparently, according to what just happened here, there is no copy. So not only was the public hearing that was held at 6:15 absent of any documentation for the public to talk, the fact that you guys violated the 48-hour rule, you are in violation of the OMA Act, which means that the meeting that you just had, you didn't have the agenda front-facing 48 hours straight, contiguous, legible, which invalidates your vote on the budget and means that the entire vote today shouldn't have happened and was illegal because the hearing was held illegally. Thank you. It's irrelevant, and what you have up there is from 23-24.
Yes. So I just wanted to reiterate that about the OMA violation. Also, sorry guys, that was just someone calling in regards to the meeting. That's why I wanted to take that call. That's interesting though, Leroy. So the old administration used to pay for all those programs out of the budget, and then residents didn't have to pay or didn't have to pay very much. I mean, that's cool. That's really what it should be, right? It's all about serving the residents. Sorry, one second. I just said I would share this link. of this show right now. So let me go to my account and do that. Okay, I did that. So then, after you saw how again the President McCaskill was very rude and inappropriate, going back and forth with Amanda, but she was professional and stood her ground and clarified her points, which I give her huge kudos for that. Valerie commented she's been following the library stuff for much longer than most people, and she commented, which is true, saying, "Hey, you guys didn't advertise this meeting properly, so really you're violating the Open Meetings Act." Because even though we knew about the meeting, the main board meeting, we didn't know about the budget hearing. And before you can pass your budget, you're required to have a hearing. So if that notice wasn't given properly, I agree. There's probably, a case there to say that vote should be totally invalidated. And Amanda, I totally agree. That's how it should be, right? Like you imagine that. You use public money to help the public. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Oh, I might fall over and faint. Wait, is that what government's supposed to be for? Oh, I thought it was just about getting your friends and family in and just taking as much money as you could. Wait, I'm so sorry. I guess I totally missed it, I mean, it's like, duh. Oh, that's crazy. So now I'm going to have Adam. In general, from the board, we need to see budget bills, the treasurer's report, everything has got to be documented. Everything's just wrong with this board. Like I had to do everything, and Mr. Price and I don't always agree on everything, but the way you treat Ms. Price and Chappelle Hooks, they're asking questions because you guys waste our money. And how dare you threaten to throw him out? Because you're eviscerating his wife in front of his eyes. How would you feel if someone did that to your wife? And that has nothing, just listen. Sir, just listen. This is my time to talk. Sir. And you see, he can dish it all he wants and be extremely disrespectful to people. But then when someone wants to push back, all of a sudden he wants to interrupt. Like, no, I'm sorry, sir. This is my public comment time. If you're going to be extremely rude to people, including to someone's spouse, and expecting them to watch and not say anything, and then not expect people to push back, that's just craziness. And Mandy, I love it, right? That's a foreign concept. Imagine that. Wait, government's not just supposed to be for people to like steal things from. It's like, oh, it's supposed to, our whole public collective funds are supposed to go towards helping everybody. That's the whole idea. So anyway, he tries to shout me down. You serve the public. This board, do you know there are people in Harvey, older Black residents, who some of them were the first to be able to buy their homes here, and they're being pushed out because the taxes are high. And the big reason is because you aren't accountable to the people. So how dare you grill these ladies? Sir, no, let me have my comment first. You may respond after.
We never raised taxes.
Sir.
And second of all, we are doing
I'm reclaiming my time. Go ahead. You want to answer? But you're not getting into my time.
Go ahead, Mr.
Okay. So as a reminder, we pay for you. You work for us. Rude treatment, unprofessional. The lawyer, what are you doing? What you're letting him and this board do things illegally. And it's nothing personal, but you are you vote on them. I mean, looks remote. Lady wants to make the comments about that she's 100% right, and you want to shame her? Because it sounds like you're trying to get money off of this man who wants to just give CPR classes. Let him get the damn classes. And also we have people. And he can't hold. You cannot insult people and expect people not to respond back. I cannot stand bullies. And what we saw tonight from the library board being led, yes, by the McCaskills, was bullying. I'm sorry, you can't do that. You cannot bully residents and you cannot bully other trustees when no one asked a question that was rude or inappropriate. The only behavior that was rude or inappropriate was coming from the president and others that were voting with him, and because they were trying to silence me and others. And this is crazy. Did I lie? Did I say anything wrong? I don't think so. We have people. No, I'm reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time because he was speaking over me. We have people, Mr. President. They want to come in and use the library for internet, and we don't even have a library director. They're not able to get those services they need. So, this board seems to be more interested in what they can get out of the Harvey Library than serving the community. And I'll remind you again, you have elderly Black residents who are being pushed out of their homes because of the taxes they're paying for this board. Thank you. Do better. Yay! I just had to go off.
So the fact that.
And then he's gonna respond and be like, "You can't talk about Black people." Like, dude, you're just trying to miss the point. You're missing the point.
So we're not wasting money.
We've never seen that. Show us the paper, sir.
It's in the minutes.
He says we're not wasting any money. Show us the receipts then. Where's all the money going? So we're just supposed to take your word for it? How does that work? So you want to go get a loan and the lender says, okay, well, let's see your profit and loss statements. Let's see your your budgets. Oh, no, that's okay. It's all in the minutes. Oh, it's all there. Okay, well, can I see it? No. So you're not going to make it available? No. So you think you're going to get your loan that way? I mean, don't play us. We know that that's not how it works. So we're not going to take your word for it. I want to see where the money's going, and so do other people. Show us the receipts.
At the end of the day, that's what it is. And so the next thing is the fact that you can speak on behalf of elderly Black women is completely out of order. You're out of order. Secondly, right?
I'm out of order because I'm speaking up for elderly Black families that can't afford their taxes because you don't spend them properly, and we don't even know how you're spending them, and you want to keep spending them more. Like, oops, sorry. I mean, this just the whole behavior of this board is just insane. And notice, Mr. Lawyer has nothing good to say. Neither does the daughter, Amari McCaskill. So it's really bad. Seen that? Show us the paper, sir.
It's in the minutes.
Show us the receipts.
At the end of the day, that's what it is. And so the next thing is the fact that you can completely out of order. You're out of order. Secondly, right?
You're just dodging accountability. Release the receipts.
Accountability.
Show us the receipts, Mr. President.
You're right. I have receipts, sir. Yes.
Oh, you're right. I have receipts, sir. Where are they? I mean, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. The way they operate, the admin probably threw them away. Yeah. I mean, some of it might be very poor record keeping, right? But I'm sure they have, I mean, he says they have it. So they've got to have some documentation of where this money is. The thing is that they're not going to share it, right? And they don't even want people to ask questions about it. It's just no shame. Why did he single out elderly Black ones? Right. It's like, so I can't speak up for the elderly Black families. Yeah. And then he picked on like elderly Black women. It was like, oh, maybe because I see a pattern that it seems like the president, Mr. McCaskill, this whole meeting particularly enjoyed going after and being super rude to Black women on the board. Is that why? Maybe I don't know. I don't know why he singled them out, but that was weird to me too. Like, okay. And again, if you're not going to speak up for them, well, I am. Do I have to be black to care about black people? Do I have to be straight to care about straight people? Do I have to be a woman to care about females? We're all human, right? Some online. We're waiting.
We're back to the.
He has nothing to say. That's your moment, President McCaskill. Shine, buddy. You're doing a great job. That's your moment to say, yes, sir, you are correct. We're not doing anything wrong, and we are honoring and our commitments to steward your money correctly, and we're going to post all that information online. Bingo. And you can see it, and you can ask questions, and we're going to use that awesome software that shows you in real time all that when the money comes into the public board and it comes out and how it's spent and everything. That's the right answer. Anything other than that means you are hiding something. So here's my question for you to Anthony McCaskill, Amari McCaskill, and the rest of the board except for the only ones that were asking questions, which would have been Trustee Price and Trustee Hooks. But for the rest of the board that's voting with Anthony McCaskill, what are you hiding? Why do you refuse to release the finances? How are you any better than Mayor Clark? You do the same thing that he does. He'll arrest you. He'll accuse you of abusing children. He will ticket you. He'll extort your business. He'll do anything but show where our money is going. How is what you are doing, library board, how is that any different? You sound just like Mayor Clark and his four alder yes-men. So change the narrative, President McCaskill. You're the president. Man up, stand up, do the right thing. Or are you going to keep making excuses and bullying people that ask about where the money is? Right, exactly. Yep, exactly. I agree, Leroy. If they don't have something, it's on purpose that they're trying to hide it or whatever. Yep. I'm sure the old managers kept them. Mm-hmm. Yep. He had nothing to say.
For the record, Eagle White only last night, LA is David R.Y. Within years since the Central Award, and for those of you who are new,
he's in a hurry. Okay, so the next gentleman spoke. It was very difficult to hear him as well. He was speaking way too quietly. But basically, he said,
participation, it does take three. So we're going to change it back into a vote and a vote.
Okay, and I didn't catch the last point. But he said I asked him afterwards to clarify. So I guess there was an incident where his backpack was stolen in the library, and Harvey police would not make a report because for one, they just wouldn't make a report. They just should have made a report. But then they offered as an excuse, they said, oh, well, the library's not showing the video footage. So paying all this freaking money to have all these cameras in this new, building, and you can't handle the footage because the guy's backpack got taken? Again, waste. They're all just wasting our resources.
I just wanted to state that I did submit a request for information that has not been complied with yet, and that the board has been informed by the Attorney General that they have 7 days to respond to get the information. So I'm hoping that the information is provided, if the board does the right thing, or the president does the right thing and provides those documents. And I don't feel that we should have to go this route as a trustee and a resident to ask for information if I'm asking for it and it not be given.
Absolutely, I totally agree. So she's saying, I had to FOIA some information because even as a trustee, I'm not getting the information. And I think it's sad. That shouldn't have to be that way, right? We as residents and them as residents and trustees should already have that information. And then she mentions that the president is also the FOIA officer. I don't believe that that's proper. I don't think that that's how it's supposed to be. Leroy says they will only refuse if the manager tells them not to give the footage. The manager on staff is supposed to roll back the cameras. Ah, okay. Right. So again, why are they hassling this gentleman? Just help him. And then Harvey police, I said keep keep at it, because it's not surprising that they're refusing to take a report, but Harvey police are also not doing their job. And then what information did she FOIA? That's what I wasn't sure exactly, but that would be good to know as well.
Forward in the due time. You have a question? No, I was looking at the trustee. You know what I'm talking about? All right. And also, I just wanted to address an issue. I came into the library and Mr. Doyle also mentioned that we have one employee in the building, and our bylaws state that there should never be one employee in the building. I did leave you a voice message, not sure if you checked it or not, President McCaskey, if you didn't answer the call. And our bylaws state that there always has to be a manager on duty, as well as not having one employee on staff. So hopefully we can have that as an agenda item next time. We need to get more staff.
And that's another very, very important issue, very valid. She said that there should never be just one employee on duty, and that she left a voicemail with the president about that, saying, "Hey, can't have that," and she did not get a response. Surprise, surprise. Can you see, according to how he treats people tonight, that he didn't respond to that? Dalton has quite a few FOIA lawsuits, right? Yeah, because that's when people are hiding stuff. If you're doing everything right, why would you hide?
That's always saying something about outlaws and policy. There's a lot of important that's something we have to see. So we like to do a rating with, or we got a copy of it. Can you please present this for us? I'm asking this, can you give us a copy?
Do you have the bylaws, attorney?
We talked about this, that the bylaws that there was 20 copies, we're in the process of 2 weeks ago.
Okay, and then they had this weird thing back and forth between the attorney.
We can have it. I see.
2 meetings ago, board directed me. Association gives you one.
This weird, again, stupid thing where Felicia Powell Johnson was asking for a copy of the bylaws from Trustee Price, and then Trustee Price is like, well, I don't have them, they're online, and or the most up-to-date ones should be with the lawyer, right? And then the lawyer never knows anything, never is helpful, right? He's just there collecting a check. Wait, why did I clap?
Start spending the $3 million. So we can get someone in here so we can start spending the $3 million on services program.
Oh, that's why I clapped. Hey, he's so rude. McCaskill looks at his watch again. So Trustee Price said, so we can start getting that $3 million and make sure it gets spent on programs. And that's why I was excited. I'm like, yes, imagine that. Using public money to help the public. What a novel idea.
So, I had a couple of complaints from patrons that came in and when it came in business,
Oh, yeah, that was really sad. That was really, really sad. So Chappelle here again, because you may not be able to hear, but she was she said that there were some complaints that people brought kids in, and the library staff said, "Oh, you're gonna have to make an appointment." Like, to use a library, like, what the? You people can't even do the basic services of what are you doing with our money, with our resources? Like, this is freaking crazy. Like, the lawyer's probably shitting bricks. He might go to jail with them. I hope he does. Probably we'll get out of it. But when she was president, the money was allocated to the public. When there were two managers, one was a program manager that headed the programs. Okay, you're saying under when Trustee Price was president? Yeah. So maybe, and I don't remember the I don't know the details from that, but maybe they were more transparent. Excuse me, but this board is not. That's for sure.
Asked for it. Said she was going to go make a copy, and I received
That's what this is. This is not a service agreement. This is not a contract or a policy.
Mm-hmm.
So this is this says I don't see. They're not proposing nothing.
It's not signed or executed.
That's not good.
You can vote yes or no, but this is not a proper proposal. No, sir.
And you're spending our money. That's a reminder. I had to remind him that you're spending our money. So both trustees Price and Hooks they look over the HVAC proposal, and they're like, "This is supposed to be a proposal. This isn't a proposal." And of course, McCaskill still wants to push through the vote.
So it looks like these are options. This is option number 2. So I don't have the first option.
Motion to table the approval of the HVAC proposals.
President McCaskill,
There's a motion.
Vice President Taylor.
You said
A motion to remove from the table item 10.
to remove it.
Yeah, we just table it, and I gotta take it off the table to address it.
Vice President Taylor.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear when you first motioned, was it 10A is what you guys are voting on this morning?
So we have motion.
So the agenda was mislabeled, okay? And they're talking too fast again. It was something like, I guess they were voting on tabling it, the HVAC proposal. Amanda asked a valid question because it was mislabeled in the agenda, and then she gets rudely responded to. The public needs to hear, though. You guys are so quiet and you talk so fast. We can't tell what's going on. The public needs to be able to know. She's not out of order, sir.
I'm just trying to.
You're out of order.
No, if we can't hear what you're doing, the public needs to be able to hear.
He explained the motion after we talked about it.
I know, I'm sorry, but it's hard to hear. You guys talk real quiet and you talk real fast, so it's hard to hear.
So again, just to clarify, what you guys are voting on right now is 10-A. Is that, am I
No,
wrong?
10-B.
Okay, because that's not on the budget that I'm seeing. I only have 10-A and then it goes to 11. So that's why I'm asking the question. Because the agenda that I'm looking at has 10-A, then it goes to 11, and it goes to 12. Actions from executive session 10B, approval of HVAC proposal. There's 2 number 10s.
Oh, yes.
That
was confusing. 2 number 10s. They screwed it up.
President Taylor.
Yes.
Secretary McCaskill, yes. Treasurer Johnson.
Yes.
Trustee Cooks. Trustee Morgan, not here. Trustee Price.
clarifying the motion is that
To remove it from the table.
we're on
It's
table.
not the vote, you're just taking it so that you can put it back, and then someone will make a motion to approve it. So this is not a substantive motion. So
Yes, and you can say I'm not in line, but we too late. I just want the audience to notice the order of the roll. We've never had the president go first, but I just want to say that. I'm just saying, that's typically not how the
Roll call.
now, I'm asking what are we voting? We're voting on the actual contract? The one you said you did not see, don't have,
Are you gonna vote now? Are you gonna vote now? I ain't got time for this.
Ah! Oh, and then Angela chimes in. Not very nice. So again, it's so confusing to follow what they're even doing. They bring up another vote, and I guess they wanted to now vote on this HVAC proposal, which according to the two trustees isn't a proposal. And of course, we've never seen anything. So I have no idea. They could be voting to spend $3 million, to build someone a new house in Florida for all I'm concerned. Like we haven't seen anything. And then Tamika Price is asking again, like, well, what are we voting? Wait, so we're voting on something that's not a proposal that we've never really seen. Like, what is going on? And then Angela now was bugging her about it. Like, Miss Price is asking all the right questions. Much. We can't even understand.
I don't play games like that. I don't play games like that. I don't follow y'all. I don't follow y'all.
Motion to adjourn at 8.
Second. But the first one, they were first voting to table it, and then.
Right.
And then.
And what was he motioning? Did he motion to approve again? Or did they motion to approve again, or was he motioning to adjourn? I don't know. See, it was just so confusing, very difficult to follow. Hold on one second. Let's see. Leroy says management staff is responsible for transparency. They can only release what is requested by the board. The old managers used to release the information to the public, but this one seems to. You mean to not listen? Keith Price, hello. He says, Ryan, I need the part when he said they previously were bidders. I have all the previous bids. The part when he said they were. It should be Keith. The video, it's public on my on Ryan's Gay Chicago on my channel. So if you go there to the YouTube Ryan's Gay Chicago, the whole video should be there. I don't know exactly what part that is, but feel free to use it and check it out. But yeah, they were. I apologize. I mean, I don't have to apologize. I didn't do anything wrong. But I mean, it's just really a shame how you were treated, and then how Trustee Price was treated tonight. That's not professional, and it's not, in my view, legal or ethical. Like, they were, the two trustees were asking really important questions, and they just were getting shut down and insulted like at every turn. That was just, it was a mess. It was a mess. But yeah, feel free to use the video for whatever you'd like. It's so fast. It's way.
Second motion has to die in order for the other motion. You just said to table.
We motioned before we tabled it. And then we brought it off the table.
And see how rude he is? Like, just stay calm and explain it and stop trying to rush freaking votes. $66,000 and a total of $132,000 contract. That is not chump change, buddy. Okay, President McCaskill, that's a lot of money.
Then we voted to vote for the approval.
Okay, so then when you voted to table it, that nobody voted, or was it enough votes?
It was a vote.
We voted to table it, and then that's when she went to go get it. After we got done with everything else, she came back, and then like she was like, I didn't get it, and then I went around the table. That's when we untabled it, and then we voted, and now we just voted.
What's happening right now?
Motion to adjourn at 8:12.
Vice President Taylor. Vice President Taylor. Secretary McCaskill, yes. Treasurer Johnson. Trustee Hooks. Trustee Morgan, I'm here. Trustee Price.
Wow. So I'm still not clear if Trustee Price actually got to. Did they take her vote for the final vote on let's see, what did I write down on the HVAC proposal? Okay, I wrote down that she voted no. I don't know. I feel like I didn't hear it then, but it was a mess. It was a train wreck. It was all way too rushed. You couldn't understand him. And then when people wanted to ask any questions, you were like threatened with told you're out of order. They were going to remove you. Whatever. It's just what a fucking mess. I'm sorry. And then this poor gentleman, look, he has to go and kiss his butt because he probably wants to be able to give his little CPR class. Let him give his freaking CPR class. You shouldn't have to kiss a public official's butt to do stuff like that. It's something to help the community. How was it hurting anybody? Like, what a shame,
Horrible job, board. You can do better. Do better. And you're so fast, we can't even follow what you're doing. Keep talking too fast and not loud enough.
And watch, now they're going to be rush out there.
And disrespectful.
I had to get my comments in. And disrespectful too.
And Mr. Attorney, do you have any comments on the behavior? No?
He's like, nope, I'm just here to collect a paycheck. Sorry, I don't actually do anything. Like, what a waste of our money.
No comment?
Watch it again.
Comment on...
Look, watch.
And Mr. Attorney, do you have any comments on the behavior?
Not even eye contact. Didn't even acknowledge me. How dare you take our tax money and you can't even pretend to care? Like, what a crook.
Comment?
They get paid big money, by the way, those attorneys. Don't big money. Big cash.
No, that was.
And then watch. I'll try to follow up with McCaskill.
Can you get the stuff online for us? We just want to see. We want to see how he's going to put stuff online for us to see. President McCaskill, are you guys going to put stuff online for us to see? So we just wanted to see all the finances. Mr. McCaskill, are you going to put everything online so we can see where the finances are? Well, you're spending our money. We just want to.
He says, save that stuff for City Hall. So you want Clark to get all the scrutiny, but not you, not your wife, not your daughter, not your son, not any of your friend network? But you get to spend our public money, but you don't have to answer for it? I'm sorry, that's not how it works.
I'm going to see where it's going, that's all. That's all.
And I apologize, it was shaky. I was trying to also get the stand together.
So no, that's a no. Okay, got it. I did ask for the record if we would see if he would be sharing where the money's going. No. No response. Oh, you had a little helper today. See, you so good. You were so good. They treated you. They're treating you horribly. That's horrible. How he said it, because that is exactly how they think. He said, "What's in it for us?" He called her out.
Yep.
See, but you can comment. You're trying. Eris, okay.
Yep.
Signatures?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. Are you in North Harvey? Yeah, keep it up.
Yeah, it's about done. That's basically it. Now, I did notice after the meeting that Trustee Price and Felicia Powell Johnson were talking. I don't know if they're, worked anything out or if we're going to get any more information about the finances reveal, but.
I'm just kind of watching, but this was very bad. We're commenting more during the meeting. You did a great job. Well, I don't know if you're still watching, but I don't want to interrupt them. No. I didn't see you.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, good.
Yeah, that's about it. Cool. So before The part when he claimed they previously put in bids. Oh, yeah. That probably is earlier in the video, when they were asking about the HVAC, right? And I think Chappelle brought, or Trustee Price said something about, hey, but we need to make sure we get bids. And then President McCaskill said that was the lowest bid or something. But yes, that should be earlier in the video. Yeah. Okay, you guys, so we're just about done. I just wanted to, before we go, let me, how should I do it? Let me open up a blank Word document. How about that? I'm like, how did I do it last time? I want to try to bring a little clarity to the, oh, is it this document? I want to try to bring some clarity to the McCaskill's relationships, just because I'm sure, obviously, if you're not from Harvey, too, even if you are from Harvey, sometimes it can be hard to follow. Okay, so sorry, give me 1 second. Come on, open up document. I have all the previous bids. Stay tuned. Yeah, because if you have that information, Mr. Price, that would be great to share. I would tonight, I think, said that this bid for $132,000 for the HVAC was already way, overkill. So, we just want the transparency. And then Wyoming, you said, I can't believe this was a library board meeting, right? That's why I was saying it's all about me. Like, this board's like, well, what can we get from this? And they even told the guy, talking about the CPR classes, they even said it. He even said, at least city council meetings are pretty lit. Oh, really? I'll have to check those out one day. Okay. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Come on, man. I just want to open a Word document. This is where I miss in teaching. I miss like having my whiteboard. This is really 110%. Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we're gonna label this. Sorry, first I gotta share it with you guys. Let's try to get a little clarity on how the McCaskills are connected to these boards. Okay, all right. So let me try to write it up for you guys. So we'll say Keisha McCaskills and company. I'll say, I don't know, and associates, McCaskills and their associates have taken over the Harvey Library and Park boards. Okay, so 2 boards. Okay, so you have library. Anthony is president. Okay. Then you have Anthony. Wait. So he's the father. Okay, the father. is president. Amari, daughter, is secretary. Felicia Powell Johnson is one of their associates from the so she is Parks employee, okay, an associate. She is the treasurer. Okay. Now we're not done yet. If you thought that we were done with their connections, okay. Not done yet because Keisha is not in an elected position. Okay, she's the mother. Keisha is a paid consultant. Now, what she does exactly, I don't know. But as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3 people very connected to her and her family that voted to hire her as a consultant. Now, let's go to the parks, okay? Parks. So we have Aaron. Oh, he doesn't need to be bolded, though. Aaron is the son. He's a trustee. Or, I'm sorry, they don't, what do they call him for the park? Like a commissioner or something, like board member, commissioner, I think. I think it's commissioner. Oh, I see, right, exactly. So he's a commissioner. Then Amari, who's the daughter. She is also a commissioner on the Harvey Park District. Then we have Felicia Powell Johnson again. She is an employee. Now remember, I'll say library. If I can spell. Library treasurer. Okay. She is an employee. Then we have Keisha, who's mom. She is the executive director. Okay, so that's a lot of money and power. Okay. Now, not to be outdone, don't forget that Keisha, mom, is also Cook County Commissioner, 5th District. Okay, so she was appointed and she's running for that position. She's running against Kiana Belcher and Jason Decker so far. But in the primary, I think it's just against Kiana Belcher, okay? So we got a lot of overlap, okay? Now, one thing that I want to do, sorry, let me check the comments, make sure I didn't miss anything. Mr. Price says this was what was in Mrs. Price's FOIA. New hire offer letter, including the email communication sent to the person with the offer letter attached, indicating acceptance. Information on the monthly paid. Yeah, that we would like to know that. Yes, we'd like to know who's getting paid and how much and what the arrangement was. Paid consultant, is she worth it? I wish I could say. I don't know what Keisha McCaskill does as a consultant for the library. And like I said, her family and other associates voted on it. So it's not very, it really, like I said, if you're trying to tell us that you're all about nepotism and patronage, then you're doing a great job, but that's not what we want. Monthly paid time off, okay. Accrual rate for the library employees, a copy of the termination letter issued to this particular person, a written explanation and detailed breakdown of the year-to-date payment. Sounds reasonable to me. Yep. We would like to see that. I agree with that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go and highlight. Let's pick a fun color, you guys. How about green, right? Okay, green for money. Should be the bright green or the dull green. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think screams money? I'll use the bright green. Okay, so I'm going to highlight positions that are paid. Okay. All right. Okay. So these are the only positions that are at least supposed to be paid. Okay. How do I turn it off? Okay, yeah. So, so the president, secretary, treasurer position at the library, no, those are not supposed to be paid. Same thing with the commissioner positions that the son and daughter have. But Felicia does get paid. She's an employee at the park district. Now, who do you notice has 3 jobs here? And my question is, are these even compatible to have all at the same time? So Keisha is a paid consultant with the Harvey Library. She's also paid as the executive director of the Harvey Parks, and she is the Cook County Commissioner for the 5th District. So that's a lot of money. Keisha's got a lot of money and a lot of responsibility. So my question would be, again, is it possible to do all those and not, have overlapping responsibilities or something? So let me see. Okay, year-to-date payment totaling $12,800. All pay stubs issued to this person during her. Oh, this is for Oh, I see. You're saying this is for Keisha McCaskill. Okay. 12,800 issued in May. Okay. Well, I guess it's not as much as I thought it was, but still, it's nothing to shake a stick at. All pay stubs issued to blank during her employment payroll registry for the last 6 months. Okay. Okay. Oh, I didn't know. I heard Keisha was on a board for the casino, but I didn't know if it was paid. So, and again, I'm not saying it's bad to it's not necessarily. Oh, that wasn't for Keisha. Okay. Thank you. I'm not saying it's bad to even have more than one position, right? But I'm just saying, like, that's 3. And I believe they're all paid. Actually, let me Google that really fast. What is I'm going to see if I can find out. Hold on a second. Shouldn't that be? Oh, I know. What's that? Isn't there a site like? Oh God, what's the site that lists all the public salaries? I know there's one. Um, okay. Illinois Answers Project. Let's try that. Oh, and it says the Office of the Comptroller has it too. Okay. Let me look at that. Oh, StreamYard. Okay. Sorry, I lost the comments for a second, guys. They should come back. Come on, StreamYard, you're killing me. There we go. Oh, no. Okay, sorry. That's not what I want. That was the wrong thing. Okay, sorry. That wasn't what I was looking for either. And I know there was another site. Oh. Wyoming says, why not have a rule that wouldn't allow double dipping jobs? Yeah, I agree with that. The request had to be broken down because it was too many characters. Oh, got it. Now, that wasn't for Keisha. It was for the lady that was terminated but never stopped getting paid. Oh, yeah, that's strange. How would the person get terminated and still get paid? That's why it looks like they're hiding stuff. I don't like that. We just want to know what's going on. Okay, and right now I'm trying to see if I can pull up any more information on salaries here. Ooh, it's supposed to be hot tomorrow, it looks like, too. In the 90s. Come on. Did it load yet? Where is it? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. It's right in front of my nose. Okay, well, that's not as recent as I was hoping, but here's at least one site just for reference. Oh, okay. That the latest data year they have is 2020, but still, at least to give you some sort of idea, this says it sounds like the person cutting the checks is a friend. Right. Well, the treasurer is Felicia, who works for the park district. So, yeah, it just like I said, if you're trying to say you're honest and you're above board and you're not doing patronage or nepotism, I mean, this is not the way to do it. Let me show you guys this really fast. But there should be, I know there's a more updated database as well. I just have to figure out. I have to remember where to find it. Does anybody know off the top of their head? But this is from 2020, just to give you an idea. Okay, so Keisha McCaskill for 2020, executive director at Harvey Park District. Okay, the salary in 2020, now this was 5 years ago, was almost $87,000. Now we know how salaries are; they don't go down, right? So let's do a little search though. Let's see if there's anything else. A site that lists public salaries. Oh. Now wait, what's the site? What's the source for this? They make way too much money though. Jesus. Oh, Brandon Johnson was a Cook County commissioner. Okay. I think I did hear that. And of course, they always give themselves raises. They make way too much money. People can barely afford to pay their taxes. Okay, let me see this article here. But that was in 2019. This says that Cook County commissioners have a base salary of $85,000. Treasurers don't cut checks, to my understanding, at least. Yeah, I don't actually know who cuts the checks. I don't know, but they're not doing things right there. So the treasurer might be. You can make all that money when your family's giving out the raises, right? Yeah. So let's say, if I go back to let's just assume, so that was a few years ago, that the base pay for the Cook County commissioner is 85. So let's assume it's probably up to like around 95,000, let's say. And then her pay was 80-some thousand in 2020 as the park district executive director. So again, let's assume that she's up to at least 95,000 for that too. And then as far as how much she's making as a consultant, I'm not sure. Now there was the article earlier this year that the Harvey World Herald did. Let me glance at this really up. Here we go. All right, can you guys see that? Okay, so this is, sorry, wrong thing. Our local paper. This is Amethyst J. Davis. She was a student at Thornton when I taught French there. Actually, she didn't take French, but she's done so well. She went off to college and she came back and started a local paper. So she reported that county commissioner paid over $30,000 as consultant at Harvey Library, where husband serves as board president. Okay, now remember, she represents part of the far south side too, okay, as Cook County Commissioner. That's a picture of Keisha at a Cook County board meeting, okay. Oh, I think that was the day that I was there. Yeah, that was the day that all the fraternities and sororities were there. And I was asking them to investigate Harvey police and corruption. So let's see. In October of 23, the library board voted to give Keisha McCaskill, wife of then treasurer Anthony McCaskill, a 6.5-month consulting contract, $2,000 per month, working 20 hours a week. That's not too bad. Okay, you only work 20 hours a week, $2,000 per month. All right, okay, that's good money for her. The contract for her company, KHM Consulting Group Incorporated, expired in May of 24. However, she still performs and receives payments for work by the library district, which has included providing recommendations for full-time hires, liaising for accounts payable, and reviewing proposals for security-related contracts. So I believe they've hired a relative of theirs to work security, and then you were just asking about who cuts the checks, right? So maybe that's part of her job, liaising for accounts payable, aka deciding who gets what. I don't know. She's requested to be paid $30,450 for admin work and reimbursed around $5,100 for expenses she incurred between November 2023 and February 2025, according to invoices and bills lists reviewed by the Harvey World Herald. She was brought on to perform executive level work for the library, according to the contract. The library shall not reimburse the consultant for expenses related to the services, as such costs are included in the fee. A call for her assistance with strategic planning and development. Okay, blah, 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 blah. The Harvey Library has not had a director since at least August of 24. That's why Ms. Price asked about the search for director. Okay, so interesting. So we know she got some money from that. 20 hours a week. I need to see the punch card. So exactly. So let's do now again, that officially her contract expired, but if she's still making money, then let's put that back in here. Okay. She asked about the search because they moved it from a corporate professional company to an open forum where their friends could apply. Oh, is that why they did? Yeah, because I remember they did have a company they were using, and then that was the last library meeting I was at, and then Anthony McCaskill said, oh, it was too expensive, so we're just going to post it ourselves. Interesting, Leroy. Okay. So let's go back to our sheet here, okay? And we're going to say, so let's assume that she's working still, because she's still being paid something. She's still working. So let's say that's 20 hours per week, right? Okay. Then Cook County Commissioner, oh Lord, well, how many hours per week would that be? I don't know. Well, we have to say at least 10 hours per week, right? I don't know how much they're required to do, but okay, let's at least say that. Then Executive Director of the Park District, I don't know what I mean, we do have a lot of parks. What should we say, you guys? Should we say, I'll be on the conservative side, okay? I'll say 20 hours a week. Let's say it's just a part-time. Although that salary is really full-time. She shouldn't be making that for that. So that would be 3 jobs and a minimum of 50 hours per week. That would be, yeah, that's something's not right there, okay? And then if let's assume that this is full-time, okay? Because 95,000, we estimated she's making about that. That would be definitely inappropriate, because then if she's working 40 hours here every week and then doing the 20 hours a week of consulting at the library, and then this is a low estimate for the Cook County Commissioner, 10 hours a week, it's overlapping jobs, overlapping working times, overlapping responsibilities. That doesn't look good to me. He said they didn't have a valid site or email, so he didn't want to pay someone to search. I remember that. Commissioner and director are full-time jobs. Oh, do they consider commissioner a full-time job? Actually, you know, I don't even have to ask. I guess I could just Google that, huh? Is Cook County Commissioner considered a full-time position? Oh, it is. Day-to-day, why it's considered a full-time role. Community engagements, policy making, salary and benefits. Oh, interesting. Huh. Damn. So they get really good deals on this stuff that I don't think they should be getting. Mm-hmm. All right, so I got to update that now. All right, so you said that's full-time. I mean, we saw it online. That's full-time. And I'm assuming the executive director is full-time. How can someone be working 2 full-time jobs then? I don't get it. That'd be 80 hours a week. And then if she's doing consulting for the library part-time, let's say 20 hours a week, that's 100 hours per week. How is this possible? Okay, and that site, that, or this information, that was not what I was looking for. Get rid of that. Wow. So what do you guys think? What do you think about all this? She just doesn't do the work. There's also another consulting job. Another consulting job? Wait, what? Leroy, do tell. Where's that? Best bet is she is handing off work to other people and pocketing the money. It doesn't look good, unfortunately. So anyway, I hope that helped to clarify. Sorry, I didn't intend to go this long, but we already covered the library board meeting. But I just wanted to, in general, because sometimes, you know, people are like, well, who are the McCaskills? Let's say if you follow Dalton or the township, but you don't really know anything about the McCaskills. So, the casino job. Yeah. Let me search. That's a good question. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, so casino job. I don't even know how you'd find out who works for the casino. I guess we could do a quick what is it called again? Wind Creek Casino. How do we find out who works at the casino? Maybe at the bottom. Oh, it's not just here in Chicago. They have other ones. I didn't realize that. Wow. There's one in Pensacola, one in Miami, one in Aruba, Curacao. Hmm. Mhm. Good boy, puppy. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where to find that out, but it sure would be. I'd just love to know who in general, like, because I've heard that there's some sort of board for the casino. So if anybody knows about that, but well, anyway, it's concerning, and this is not the only politician that has done this. But remember, Keisha's running to be Cook County Commissioner against Kiana Belcher in the Democratic primary, and then her husband may try to run for mayor again, 2027. I don't know, but this gives you. I hope this gives you an idea and a little clarity on how the connections are between the library and the parks and the McCaskill network, and why people are asking legitimate questions. And as you saw tonight, they're trying to shut down any questioning, just like Clark does, as far as the city board. But I mean, these are some concerns. 1, 2, 3 paid jobs between the library, parks, and being on the Cook County board. So if we assume, again, that's 80 hours a week, maybe 80 to 100 hours a week to do these 3 jobs, plus other jobs that I may not know about, and then assuming a minimum of, if I just round them both to 100, let's say that's a minimum of 200,000, then plus however much she's making at the library, and then if she has other consulting jobs, I don't know, but it's maybe at least 200 a year, and how did you find out she needs to do 20 hours a week? For the library, Leroy, that was based on the reporting done by the Harvey World Herald for her prior, when her first contract, because they said that her contract expired, but that she still is paid as a consultant for the library, but that first contract had her working 20 hours per week for the library. Are there any documents? Yes. So if you want to find the documentation for the library, the Harvey World Herald did a good job for that. If you just Google that, or just go to their website, Harvey World Herald. So anyway, the whole point is, remember, it's nothing personal against the McCaskills or anybody else, but these are our public resources, and people have to be fair and play by the rules, because if you or I do anything that is considered, my God, anything minor, like they'll throw the book at you, or you get like huge fines. So people in politics and in public positions, they should be accountable as well, to be treating people fairly and using our resources, not to overly, to have too much power and money, within one family or one group. So anyway, so thanks for joining me. Anybody have any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to head off. Questions or comments? Thanks for joining, everybody. Okay, everybody. Well, have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk again soon. Au revoir et bonne nuit pour le moment. Thanks for everybody for joining.